This used to be the best money method in the game. Basically, you could just ignore any of the things it would show on the right there, and you could just, well, go this way and do a bunch of shortcuts and just find your way to the end of the race, just like that, basically. And it would let you do that, because it wouldn't count any of the photos. In fact, will it still let me do that? I think it will. Hang on. So you'd go through here. Oh, it will still let me do that. You'd take another shortcut here, taking you off the road. You wouldn't even stay on the road for long after that. Obviously, it's very cheaty in a way, because that's not the way the race was intended to be played. But you'd again get back on the route here and then go off the route again. But something you'll notice in the bottom right of my screen is that the same photo has been there the entire time. Well, after this large shortcut, which you would do, which, okay, you try to not hit that. You get back on the road, you go around here, and right there would be the finish line. If they hadn't patched it so that each one counts as a checkpoint now, and you can't finish the race like that anymore. You have to follow the shortcuts. But not only did they patch that one, they kind of unpatched this one. Because right at the beginning, even before the one I just showed you, was a different race with a different exploit, but the same method, basically. Because you would go in this kind of event and just ditch the route, and you'd go for the road. And then once you're on the road, you'd take this fully different route if you knew how to drive, unlike me. But what they did for this one was that they nuked the payout. They made the payout minuscule. And that made it so that, you know, people, well, there was no point in playing this event instead of anything else until people found the other race being just as good. There was a really cool bug where you could, or not even a bug, there was a cool jump you could do here, which I hit at one point and got one of the fastest runs in this race, which was a lot of fun. But then you'd get to the end, you'd finish the race, but obviously now doesn't. They patched it. The thing is, I just don't understand why they're bothering doing this. So, hear me out. One, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. My name is Sid. Subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about not just this money method patch, but also going to be talking about a new method which might be a lie. We're going to test that. See, the thing is, something has to be meta, right? Something has to be the best in the game. They just keep nuking it and nuking it, so obviously they can still keep their crew credit values high enough so that it's justified to buy crew credits in the game. So they need the money to not be too easy, but they also need it to... But something is always going to be the best. All that's happened now is a different event is the best. How do they decide whether an event is justified being the best or not? Because they patched Hummer Express too. The thing is, if they really cared, if they actually cared, they'd make the PvP the best for money so that there's actually a fun thing that's good. So it's actually something that is enjoyable, that is good for money. Something that you can, something that's different every time you play it. If they cared, the PvP would be the best for money. But no, instead they patch anything and everything that's good for money that isn't a run-of-the-mill boring race. Which basically makes it 10 hours per every spec being maxed out. It does my bloody head in. But, as much as I'm very annoyed by the fact that they just refuse to actually make the money grind and the parts grind in this game good, as much as that annoys me, there is apparently a brand new money method that a bunch of YouTubers have been pushing, that have been claiming that there's a brand new money method. So, I'm here, before I actually make a method guide, to genuinely find out once and for all, with a practical test, if it is the new money method. And by practical test, I mean half an hour grinding one and half an hour grinding the other. A definitive one or the other test. Practically, not running the numbers, not doing the maths, actually playing it if it's better. So let's check out this new method. It is apparently right in my Buick in the Donkey Lowrider playlist. To unlock it, you'll have to finish the Lowrider side of the playlist so that you then get the ability to change what vehicles you can do the race in by going here and actually being able to play in a different vehicle. Obviously, my vehicle of choice is going to be an Alpha GP vehicle, but with a buck set on it. A fully boosted buck set on it. Let me do one raw run, and then we'll see, because apparently there's a specific way you're supposed to play it. You're supposed to actually go a certain route or go a certain whatever, and there's some shortcuts, even though it's in the event type, that they actually patched, if you'll notice. Because this event type with the follow the photos is supposed to be patched. But apparently, the new method follows a route which doesn't actually mess with any of the photos. So there you go. I actually finished a photo. What here? Am I cutting through the trees or something? Is that what's going on? Why am I trying things that I just don't know? Where am I going? What am I doing? Okay, here we go. Now, not taking the weird and goofy route that I just took there. Instead, just actually following this. It wants me to go down here. And then take a turn somewhere? Not here. Ah, up here. You turn here. Yep, okay. It took a while to register. I thought this was a much longer event than it must be then. I guess because I am in an Alpha GP car. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Behave. Can you cut that? Tell me you can cut that. Because what the hell was that? I didn't want to behave. Oh, I definitely do know a shortcut here. Okay, I know that there's definitely a shortcut coming up. In fact, what does it want me to do after this? Does it want me to... Okay, it does want me to go around one turn. But after this turn, it should be very, very simple. Because sure, you have to do this. But as soon as you've done that, you can just dive off this mountain and cut all of this. All right, I know I said this would be a regular run, but that's too obvious of a shortcut. Then it's this turn here. I don't think I could see any more shortcuts, but oh, actually, maybe. Genuinely. Oh, what? What the hell? What the flip, dude? Oh, where's it gonna spawn me? Where the hell am I? Wait, what do you mean went too far? What do you mean went too far? This isn't where the road... Whatever, the crew, whatever. Okay, and then you obviously cut through here. And then I think from here, it's just... Let's just straight roads, right? Like, we just sort of get into... Until the lowrider town, at least. Whoa, that's not a straight road. That's a turn. Okay. Oh, we bottled it. You could probably cut through that grass, though. Ooh, interesting. You could easily cut through that grass. Wait, did I miss the... I technically missed the... No, one, you can't cut through that grass. Two, how did I technically miss that turn? What? I went right through it. Oh, whatever, video game. Okay, you have to go around this. And you have to go down here. There's a little crisscross. Where's the checkpoint for this crisscross, though, right? Is it here? Because... Could you skip that? Because it only registers there, right? Okay, now I finished the event. Where the hell are all the shortcuts? You can skip the crisscross. I thought so. So now, let's actually get a shortcutted run. That took me 4 minutes. Oh, God. Okay, now, finally, we're at the next day because, well, my stream broke yesterday. But... now, we're going to start doing the method properly. There is clean driving. We're going to leave it in the morning. Actually, no, we're going to make sure it's a dry. And everything else, I mean, difficulty, not applicable. Then, I mean, all of this. And this is just the meta settings. We could go cockpit view if we really wanted that extra. I mean, a bit of rewind will give us some extra... you know, difficulty bonus, but it's going to make it a lot more difficult if we spin out. Okay, ESP off, all of that sorted, there you go. So we got rewind off. Other than that, everything else is not applicable. We're first of all doing the brand new method for half an hour, starting 3, 2, 1, and the timer has begun. So now we grind. We're gonna do a few runs, I guess. Then we're gonna hopefully get better and better. But I do have the route down. It probably would have helped to do a few runs before the stream, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I just need to remember the shortcuts, which I think I do. I guess that's what this one's for. So up here, we are supposed to go right after the farm. I'm gonna take it wide so that I have the angle. There we go. Nice. See, that feels like it did nothing. Because there's my ghost, which didn't do that, you know? So I feel like there's no point in doing that. Okay, there you go. I hit the turn after this better because I didn't accelerate too much. My throttle control is really bad often. I don't know. If I can't just, like, fully accelerate out of a turn, then why am I playing an arcade game? All right, let's get to the end. Obviously, you want to slam the brakes here a little bit so that you don't go into that wall. You get a clean turn around here. Nice. And then we're not doing a shortcut until the big rounded edge, which we still do need to be careful for spinning out on the end of the turn, though. Like, this nice early entry prevents that a little. I kind of jumped a bit soon, I feel. Yeah, Yep, definitely jumped a bit soon for Alpha GP, because Alpha GP, they didn't bother doing any physics or anything. They just make you slide out. I've gotten this wrong enough times that I remember that it's straight instead. There we go. And then it's just through this thing. Oh, come on. Nice. Oh, well, that's not even it. I say then it's just through this thing. That's not even the end of it. We still have, like, one really weird shortcut to do, which I feel like is asking to be done wrong, no? The one after this bit. Because you're technically supposed to go around this turn, but I guess you can kind of go here? Yeah, but where's that threshold? That's what I want to know. Oh, well. We've got one last shortcut left, which is going to be the ziggity-zag up at this... this. Realistically, though, this patch of the photo update, the photo mode, the photo races, that patch has, to be fair, done what it was supposed to. It's patched a bunch of things out. Oh, wow, okay. That was rough, but good enough. Oh, decent, decent, decent. And run number 1 is run number done. And then let's immediately... What the hell? It's done that a second time? What am I doing wrong there? What am I... Like, genuinely, what am I doing? Am I going too fast? Whatever. Okay. Regardless, we're going to go straight back into it, not check a single thing, because I do not want to waste time for either of these methods, because I want to give them a fair shot. So let's go into run number 2 and try and get, well, it actually properly done. I'll catch up with the video in a second. Okay, we are now 4 runs in, and we are almost at the halfway point. We've got 16 minutes left, which that came way quicker than I thought, but obviously we've been earning. The clean driving bonus does get a little shafted, but it's mostly a clean run. I mean, shortcuts like this don't help, of course, but, like, obviously, there you go, if you're hitting a tree head on. So, you know what? We've been doing all right, though. We've been getting, like, consistent 3-minute 10s, roughly, I want to say. One big issue that we have come across is if you're going too fast at the end here, it just won't register. So I got to slow down and then go across, or it just won't register. But 308s, those are pretty good runs, all things considered. But at the halfway mark, we've done about 4 of them. I've got, obviously, the parts that give us such a boost. So I'm not too sure what we'd be at money-wise, but it's probably pretty good so far. Okay, so here's the thing. Now that you guys have seen this method, chat, do you want this to be the new money method? So, Kiss Me Combi right now has been, you know, due to the patch of Scene 4, it's been reverted back to Kiss Me Combi. But Kiss Me Combi is a very simplistic race. Watching me do this race over and over, do you want this to be the new best money method? Do you want this to be the event that you have to do, have to grind over and over again? Because I felt the same about Hummer Express when that got patched. Because the original Hummer Express shortcut was quite nice. The new one adds way too much inconsistency for me. Diving through the trees, diving through the off-road section, getting to the houses in Hypercar with the new parts affixes. I feel like Kiss Me Combi, for all its faults, for how boring it is, it's still a very easy event to do. And one thing about this event is you definitely got to think a lot more. I like my methods like I like my women. Let me think of a good one here. Hang on. See, I've dug myself a bit of a hole here, because what I was gonna say was so I can watch some YouTube on the side while I do them. But no, I don't think I do like my women like that. No. Let me retract the like my women. Look, I said I like my methods like... Look, I said I like my methods, and naturally, instinctively I wanted to go like I like my, but I realized that while watching something on the second monitor while doing them, that doesn't really, no, that doesn't track. I'm sorry, women. I apologize, women. Shout out to all the women SidWaj viewers. All my girlfriend and like 3 others that there are. And shout out to all of the women viewers who are just kids on their mum's accounts. Okay, let's get this run of the race done. We're much ahead my previous run, so we are having a good run here. Let's make sure we get this shortcut right, because it's the one to get right. Yeah, it's a nice little swing there. I will say, it is satisfying. It's definitely satisfying doing methods like this. And if this method is, like, within 100,000 of Kiss Me Combi, I'd understand, and I'd be like, you know what? Oh, was that slow enough? Good. Oh, 301! That was a nutty run. Damn. Okay, yeah. Let me finish up this method and see just how much we make. I shouldn't have said like I like my women. Okay, we are now in the final run. It is 1 minute and a half left on the clock. After this run, we're gonna see exactly how much money we've earned in half an hour. Like I mentioned, the final run is gonna be finished regardless of the timer. So, once this run is done, we will then move on to doing Kiss Me Combi for half an hour to see just how much we make. To actually finally figure out, is this genuinely a new method, or did the YouTubers promoting this as a new method jump the gun a little? Okay, not a bad run so far. Definitely going to be a slower run, though. We slid out a little bit. We're sliding out here. We went into a wall. But again, all of that kind of contributes to the consistency of these races, right? If the race can't be done consistently, then it's not a crazy consistent method. I mean, you can skill issue all you want, but again, it's going to be the same person. It's still going to be me testing both events. Sure, you could get used to this event slowly, and maybe on a god run consistently, this would be better. I'll probably make a more in-depth money guide where I talk about this method and other methods if it's close. There goes my alarm. But yeah, the thing about Kiss Me Combi is that is a very, very... Completely forgot about what race did I think I was doing? And where the hell am I? Okay. What the flip, dude? Doesn't matter, though. The timer's over. We're finishing this last run regardless. The event is consistent 244 if you don't suck. Yeah, okay. I would hazard a guess that, like, in the few hundreds is the amount of people that have a 244, unfortunately. It's like 3 people. Okay, 3 people have a 244, so... So obviously, 244 isn't what you should assume is the run. For me, it's been about roughly, I think, a 3-minute run on average, which I'd say is something you could easily average. This is obviously with a non-Nitro Chemist set. The set I'm using is boosted bucks on the Ace affix, and then it's bucks and bucks on both other affixes. Get a 30-second run. You can easily do this in 20 seconds on average. Easily. And there we go. Now, to check our XP numbers, to check our money numbers, and compare those to the XP and money numbers that I wrote down at the beginning of this. So the money that we made for half an hour of the first Lowriders v Donk event on the Lowrider side was 600,000. So you could probably do round about still 1.2 million per hour with the new method. So this one fluctuates a lot. Obviously, sometimes you'll get lucky with the restrictions and the F1 car is getting you an XP boost. Or, you know, you get more XP boosts from here, etc, etc. There's different things that do add on to this number, but just for the sake of comparison, 213840. Okay, and now let's set up the next event going up against it. Now, like I said, there is Hummer Express. We'll test Hummer Express versus this event at some point. But at the moment, I'm going to go with this event because, again, it's a fact of consistency. As far as I know, this is one of the best consistent money methods that you can do. So, now, obviously, we want to go custom mode. We want to put ourselves in the Red Bull RB18. And then we want to go to, 5 difficulty, obviously, but To be fair, something that the other event doesn't have is that this is actually going to make it a bit more difficult because we have to get around the AIs at the beginning, which is going to obviously lower our clean driving bonus, which we're also going to put on to keep it all balanced, all consistent. Let's begin our next grind with the timer back at 30 minutes, and again, starting at go. 2, 1, go, and the 30 minutes have begun. Now, this one is a lot simpler. Obviously, I genuinely would say the most annoying thing about this one is just getting past the AIs at the beginning. Boris Johnson's trying to ram me wide. Clean. Slipstream here is good. Okay, no, we're fine. Okay, no. The AIs were not a challenge here. I feel like they're more of a challenge in Hypercar then. Because, yeah, that was very simple. We retained a decent amount of our clean driving. But one thing I just noticed is that you get a lot less clean driving for this than you do for the new event. So maybe something everyone was missing was the clean driving bonus. No, that's a very, very fair point. Okay, so I use half my NOS here normally. Okay, no, I will definitely tap NOS, given it's a complete open straight. You can go pretty wide here. I mean, you're flat out. The simplicity of this event is just, it's unmatched. And all the way around. Okay, I can do that flat out, but I slow down a lot. And then I'll use half my NOS here. Oh, that's a bit too wide. Okay, that was a bit way too wide. I know there's technically a shortcut here, like cutting through the trees or something. Is that a thing? Chat, is that a thing, or is that too annoying and difficult to do? Hummer Express is slightly better than, Kiss Me Gonna be slightly better than Hummer Express simply due to consistency. Okay, well, there you go. A 1 minute 30. So, essentially, almost exactly a half of what we get for that last event. I'm gonna let you guys skip to halfway through, the halfway through report, because I'm just gonna keep it basic. I'm not gonna do the cut. It's a bit too inconsistent, and it's not worth the extra time, because again, the whole point of why I'm doing this is for consistency's sake. So let's run it. So, we're now past the halfway point. We're actually a little further than the halfway point, but one thing that I noticed doing this event for grinding, one is that, yes, it's definitely way easier when it comes to doing it mind AFK, but because it's a shorter race, and you're doing so many more of them per certain amount of time, it does feel a lot longer. The last race that we did, the new grinding method, that one I wanted to film a section 10 minutes in and ended up being late because we were already 15 minutes in by the time I checked. This race, however, I wanted to do a section at 15 minutes in and ended up checking it 5, or it's like 7 and 12, just being like, God, has it really not been halfway yet? This run being much more monotonous, it's a double-edged sword, because yes, it makes the run way, way easier, but because we're doing it more, it just makes time go so much slower. But again, it's how much is that going to be justified, right? Shorter events become more repetitive if you have to pay attention. If you have to pay some attention. Exactly, right? Like, obviously, the more, I assume the more I do this event over and over again, the more it'll become subconscious, and then the more it won't be as annoying. But at the moment, it's definitely, because I haven't grinded this game at all, really, I'm definitely a bit too actively thinking about the event, so it's doing me in a bit. But hopefully, eventually, it balances out, and, you know, the money counters out. It depends. Again, if it's like 100,000 gap or more, I'd kind of understand the back and forth. Do you want, yes, boredom, but a shorter, less thinking event? Or do you want to make 100k less and do... That doesn't really justify... I guess a less boring event, I guess. But one thing I will mention that just came to mind. What about other specs? Because the more I think about it, because of all the grass cuts, would the other event not be better for grinding the off-road specs? And would the other one maybe even be better for Hypercar? Actually, there's a lot of turning, but it might actually be better, because obviously Alpha GP is pretty quick. But I do think that regardless of what we find out for money grinding, parts grinding is a whole different thing. So genuinely, the off-road specs might actually fare better with the other method, the new method, whereas the straight line speed specs, like Hypercar, like Alpha GP, maybe even Street 2, probably fare better in this spec. Definitely touring. Maybe that's a different video where I'm gonna have to test all over again. Or I won't bother and use common sense and say, off-road specs that event, on-road specs this event. We'll find out though once we actually finish it. The final run is upon us. We are making our way all the way around. A very simple run. I feel like I phased it out a bit. This second half definitely went a lot quicker. I think it was what I mentioned, that I got used to the run a bit more, so it slowly just became subconscious, so it kind of felt less slow. But once this last run is over, we can finally tally up exactly how much we made from this method, and we'll find out once and for all whether YouTubers lying to you, maybe not intentionally lying, but were they jumping the gun when they said, this is the new best money method? Here we go, final run, final corner, final stretch, final NOS, final checkpoint, final run. The timer was over during this run, and now it's back to the maths. Let me see if I can gauge it just from the immediate methods though. We get, I did the numbers the wrong way around, same thing, but you do actually make less bucks doing this method. Interesting. Minus 500k, wow, I can't wait. So I actually made a calculation error, which I'm correcting here. That's just in the footage. Don't worry, you've not been exposed to this error at all. But that's why I'm here filming again instead of, you know, back when I was recording before. Essentially, what I did was I was worried that I got this 10% XP bonus during the grind. While grinding, I got the XP bonus, and then I was like, oh no, the next lot is going to be 10% extra XP. No, but I'm an idiot because that was for American street cars. So there was no effect had there. So while the money you get is about 20,000 more, you actually make 229,500 XP for doing the old method instead of the new method. But that is actually 15,000 more than the 213,000 that the old method made you. Basically, weren't actually wrong when they said new money method, because it is a new money method, but it is not a brand new XP method, as the XP is actually marginally better on, well, the old method. It's better by 13,000, and it's only, the new method is only about better by like 20,000, 25, 27,000 on this. I think one message that puts it really well is back on the old record. I mean, a good way of putting it was Bulldog, who said basically, unless you're gonna grind for 10 hours, it's marginal. And that's where you're set at, is that realistically, it's close enough that if you're gonna grind for like 5 hours, sure, and you want to, I guess both of them would become easy eventually, I guess you could do the new method. But if you want some quick grinding where you really don't have to think, I guess KMK works, but undeniably, in the end of the day, the new method is the best. That's going to be about it from me. I'm going to finish up the stream. I'll see you boys in the next one in a bit.